Today I have a quick lesson for you on how to play Sheela-Na-Gig by PJ Harvey. And I realise that for some of you this might be a slightly obscure track, but not going to apologise for that, because really that's what my channel is all about, looking at these kind of songs. And for me this song is a real 90s indie classic from one of my favourite artists. Now, Polly Harvey, obviously a great songwriter and lyricist, but she's also an excellent guitarist, I think, and that's something that's not often mentioned. Now, she's made all kinds of fantastic music over the years, but from my point of view and the point of view of making guitar lessons, I think the earlier stuff tends to be more guitar heavy. So today I've chosen a track from her first album, Dry, to look at. So what is a Sheela-Na-Gig, I hear you cry? Well, it's one of these. And I hope that doesn't offend the delicate sensibilities of too many of my viewers, but a Sheela-Na-Gig is a kind of sculpture found occasionally in churches in Britain and I think in Ireland as well. And according to Mr. Geoffrey Grigson in this book here, the Shell Country Alphabet, and this is the Anyone Can Play Guitar Book Club recommendation of the week. But according to Mr. Grigson here, Sheela-Na-Gig are grotesque little females, usually squatting with legs apart and hands thrust in under their thighs, holding their privates open. So there you go. And there seems to be some debate as to the exact meaning of these things. They could be some kind of image of an earth goddess, some kind of fertility symbol perhaps, or maybe it was just the church builders having a bit of a laugh. I don't really know. You certainly don't get this stuff from other guitar lesson channels, but shall we get to the music stuff anyway? And musically speaking, this track is very much in the vein of other 90s indie rock music. It's got that loud, quiet dynamic. It's a little bit Pixies, it's a little bit Nirvana. It's pretty easy to play, lots of fun to play. Let me show you how. So the song is made up of 3 or 4 different riffs, and I'm going to take you through those one at a time. And the first thing I want to point out is that we've got a capo on here at the 1st fret. And during this lesson, I'm going to be talking about things as relative to this capo. So I'll be talking about the 1st fret here and the 3rd fret here. I'm also going to be describing this song as being in the key of E because it's based around an E chord shape, though in reality we're actually in the key of F if you take that capo into account. Hope that is clear. Let's kick off with the opening riff, which goes like this. We've got... lovely bluesy, slightly beefheartish riff, this one, I think. And we're starting on the G string up here at the 7th fret relative to the capo. Well, actually it's the 8th fret. And we're just giving that note a slight bend. Just pushing it slightly sharp. And then I'm playing the open top string. Then I'm coming down here to the 4th fret, playing that on the G string. Another open top string, playing the G string one more time, then I'm playing it again and giving it a bend, so roughly a semitone bend, open top string again, then playing the G string unbent, coming down to the 2nd fret on the G, and then the open G. So if I put that together, we have... And throughout this riff you can let the open B string ring a little bit as well. So as you're playing the G, you can just touch the open B string as well. Likewise, when you're playing the open E, you can let that open B ring too. And I think the best way to pick this is to play all down on the G string and all up on the open top string. So you're going down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, down. So that's the opening riff, and we're going to be seeing that riff again in the guitar solo of the song. Let's move on to the verse riff. That goes like this. And this is a great 90s indie sounding riff. I think the strumming pattern is almost identical to it's that kind of Teen Spirit kind of vibe on this. Now this is made up of 2 chords. We've got 2 power chords here. We're starting with this, I'm going to call it an E power chord. So we've got the open 6th string, and then I'm playing the 2nd fret on the A string. Mostly I think these are just 2-note power chords, though I think later in the song it sometimes opens out a bit into 3-note power chords, and you can play a note on the D string as well. But I'm going to start with this E power chord, going to play that twice. Then we've got a quick down up with the pick, and we've just got a pair of open strings here, the open 6th and 5th strings, which are kind of in passing as you're moving up to the next chord. And the next chord is this, it's like a G power chord, so I'm playing the 3rd fret on the 6th string and the 5th fret on the 5th string. So we're up to this chord, and we're going to go down, up, down, down with the pick. And then we've got another quick down, up of the pick with the 2 open strings to take us back to the E again. So we've just got those open strings kind of knitting the 2 chords together and making it smooth. So all together we have the strum is down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. And then I think for the most part on the recording it's played with a little bit of palm muting. So just get your palm just touching the lowest couple of strings near the bridge of your guitar, and it just tightens up the sound a little bit. Let's move on to the chorus, and this is much the same as the verse. It's really the same 2 chords, except instead of just playing power chords, we're playing big 6-string open chords. So it's based on an E chord and a G chord. So just playing a standard open E chord. For the G chord, we're playing that version of the G where you're fretting the 3rd fret on the top 2 strings. Some people call this a rock G, and it's just got a slightly heavier sound than the way of playing a G where you have the open B string. So that's what I think is going on at this section of the song. The strumming pattern is much the same as the verse. It's that down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, da, 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 dum, bum, bum, bum. And the thing to watch out for here is just where you're changing chords. So I think for the most part it seems to be E, E, and then we change to the G. And then right at the end of the bar, we've just got a quick down up with some open strings, again just to smooth the change back to the E chord. So it's G, and then open. A bit faster. So nothing too tricky to play there. I think my main tip for this style of strumming, because it's fairly fast, is just to keep as relaxed as you can in your strumming hands. So keep a loose forearm and a loose wrist, and that will really help it to flow better. Next section of the song then, and I'm just going to describe this as the bridge, and you can hear that at this point there's a bit more fuzz or distortion on the guitar, and it sounds like this. And once again, this is made up of power chords, I think, for the most part. We've got an A power chord, so open 5th string and then 2nd fret on the D and the G. I'm just doing both of those notes with my 1st finger, playing that twice. Then this chord, which is a power chord at the 2nd fret on the 6th string, and then the 4th fret on the 5th and on the 4th strings, playing that twice. Then we're back to this A again, and finally this shape here, which is the 2nd fret on the A string and the 4th fret on the D and the G, just playing that once. So it's all downstrokes, I think, on that works best. And then there's a little bit of string noise. Maybe you can just do a little slide or something on the low E string, and we're back to the chorus riff a couple of times. Then we just repeat. And the only other bit we really need to talk about is the guitar solo, which in fact we've already covered, because that's basically the intro played with a bit more distortion and fuzz. So it just goes like this. I'm playing that exactly the same as I'm playing the introduction. That's the guitar solo. That riff also recurs at the very end of the song as an overdub, and it repeats a few times, and then right before the end, I think the ending goes something like this. We've got... You're just repeating that 7th or 8th fret bend on the G string, just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think playing that 5 times, then you play the riff one more time to end. So ending on an E power chord. So there we are. You know how to play Sheela-Na-Gig, and if I were you, I'd also take every opportunity to impress your friends with your Sheela-Na-Gig knowledge. Thank you for watching. I shall see you next time. Bye bye.